Welcome to Law Help Australia, where we keep you informed with tips and updates. My name is Emily Tung, and our topic today is to discuss a visa avenue that will enable you to, as an international student, to live, work and study in Australia temporarily after you've finished your studies. That is the 485 temporary graduate visa. Before we go into it, let's meet our panel. We have the famous Dinesh Weerakkody and the intelligent Deakin student, Mary Vanderland. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Mary.
I'm a second year arts and law student at Deakin University and an intern at the AED.
Great. And Dinesh, yourself?
I came to Australia in 2000 and finished my law degree in 2004 and got admitted and got the practicing certificate in 2007, and since then has been practicing, and especially in immigration law.
So you're no veteran in this area.
Oh, yeah, so
no,
you can say
really.
that.
So Dinesh, tell us about the 485 visa and how it allows international students to be in Australia.
Yes, because of the visa criteria, once you finish your studies and if you meet the requirements in that particular visa, which is a great possibility for most students, you can apply. And you can use that time to stay in Australia or you can travel, you can improve your English, you can work full time, there are no work conditions, or you can use that visa in a way to get your requirements for a permanent visa satisfied, and maybe talk with your employer, convince your employer to get the student nominated under the employer-sponsored visa, or maybe...
That's a different visa.
That's a different visa, but I'm talking about the exercising your options whilst on this visa to go on to other more permanent visas.
So you mentioned other permanent visa avenues, so this is evidently not just a permanent residency visa, right?
You are correct, Mary. So this is a temporary visa. It does not lead to an automatic pathway for any permanent resident visa. In fact, the regulation, it is under the regulation, it is classified as a general skilled migration visa, but it is not a permanent visa despite the regulation saying it's as a part of a general skilled visa.
Are there any other streams in this visa subclass?
A good question, Emily. This visa has two streams, graduate work stream and the post-study work stream.
So can you explain the streams a bit more in simpler terms?
Yes. In a way, it's like having two visas under this 485 visa category. So what you need to do is you need to identify which stream that is best suited for you. And once you identify the stream, you then go into check whether you can actually fulfill all the requirements in that visa, not just the basic requirements which you check at the initial stage just to choose the visa.
But before you go into the requirements, how do you know which one is best suited for you?
Yes, that is can be easily identified by doing a basic check. For example, the graduate work stream there's a need for you to nominate an occupation from the skilled occupation list. So Emily, if your occupation is not in that list, that visa stream is out of the question. And you also need to apply for a skilled assessment under that stream. Now, if those are not met, or if you cannot meet those requirements, then you obviously move to the post-study work stream. And
what's the difference? You've got general skilled migration, graduated work stream, but then you've got post-study work stream. What is the difference? To me, the wording sounds quite similar.
Yes, it is. One difference is the ability for you to fulfill the requirements in order to qualify for the visa. Once you get the visa, there's another difference, the time that you can spend in Australia on that visa. The graduate work stream has 18 months visa, and the post-study work stream depends on the study that you have done. Usually it is slightly more than, for a graduate, it's slightly more than 18 months. So not a big difference. The big difference comes at the initial stages. For example, if you haven't got your first student visa granted on or before 5th November 2011, that's very critical. Then you cannot go with this visa if your first student visa to Australia was granted before the 5th November 2011. And that visa doesn't require for you to nominate an occupation from the instrument that is from the skilled occupation list. So that's how you basically choose.
So there are sort of eligibility
criteria. So you first choose the basic requirements, and then if you identify your stream, then you go on to do a detailed assessment, because you shouldn't be just lodging an application without knowing that you can meet the rest of the requirements.
So you've mentioned some of the requirements. Are there any other common criteria that should be met?
There are quite a number of common criteria in the law which you must meet. So that's what I meant by saying that you should check the rest of the requirements. For example, the English language requirement is a common criteria, so without which you shouldn't be lodging an application. And also you must be under 50 years of age, and you can only nominate one stream. So at the time of the application, you must nominate and choose one stream. The importance of that is you cannot, even if you identify later on that you're not suitable and you should change the streams, you cannot change. So that's why it's important. Again, I cannot stress the importance of checking the requirements. So after check that, you meet the common criteria and then the rest of the individual criteria. And at the end of the day, when you apply, you know that you will be successful.